Today we got two World Eaters going head to head. Galactus from Marvel Comics taking on Unicron from the Transformers universe. Who comes out on top? Well, let's find out.
Hear the music.
I could do this all day.
Galactus is the famed Devourer of Worlds in the Marvel Universe, with his powers being nearly omnipotent. He uses energy from the core of planets and universal sources to sustain himself, and has appointed a number of entities as his heralds, imbuing them with the power cosmic. Like his heralds, Galactus gains his virtually limitless power from the power cosmic. For starters, he's able to manipulate creation, matter, energy, and universal sources. Galactus can erect nearly impenetrable force fields, project devastating energy blasts capable of blowing up planets and splitting them apart, and shoot lasers or give off radiation. He can open wormholes or portals to other dimensions or times. It can transport beings across the universe or even across time. Galactus can read minds across the universe, levitate and move matter via telekinesis, and even reconstruct matter or transmute it. He can turn matter into energy, or vice versa, energy into matter, can manipulate elements on the periodic table, manipulate souls and erase memories, repair or heal living tissue, and even resurrect the dead. Now, what's interesting is that the true form of Galactus is really unknown. Instead, he is perceived as the species of whoever is looking at him. So, to a human, he appears human, but to an alien, he appears as an alien. Now, even with all this, Galactus is not entirely omnipotent. He possesses an insatiable hunger for the energy from planets. And this hunger is the greatest motivating force in his life. This energy not only powers Galactus, but also nourishes him. This means that Galactus can starve, and in fact die, if he doesn't consume enough planets. If this were to happen, it's stated that he would explode and take 100 light-year section of the galaxy with him. So that's what we got in one corner, Galactus, the World Eater. But entering the ring is the Transformers' own version of Galactus, Unicron. Unicron, also known as the Lord of Chaos, is a Transformers deity that devours whole planets in his wake. He also serves as the embodiment of destruction, while his brother Primus represents the exact opposite, being the embodiment of order. According to the Transformers Handbook, Unicron has a level of cosmic awareness, and it's said that he's able to create life, as well as creating dark worlds. He's strong enough to rip planets out of orbit, is able to grow stronger and larger, adapt to threats that come his way, and is durable enough to survive a combined assault that Optimus Prime said could have destroyed the universe. Granted, he was severely injured by the attack, but still, he survived. Being the Earth's core, he possesses a symbiotic link to the planet itself, and thus is able to manifest whatever comes to his mind on the surface of the planet. He's got complete control over the planet, and Unicron is able to create natural disasters like tsunamis and earthquakes all over the place, as well as creating images and avatars out of stone. These avatars can even be either as large as Optimus Prime to actually dwarfing all of the Autobots altogether. Unicron is also the source of all dark energon in the universe, and because of that, he has a link to any sample around the universe. He's even shown 3 times before that he's able to possess Megatron through the dark energon that binds them. He's also able to conjure dark energon from will, raising an army of Terracons simply by raising his hands. Like Primus, he possesses a form of pure energy that can never be destroyed, making him essentially immortal. His life force is also known as the Anti-Spark. Whoever willfully allows dark energy to flow through their veins becomes bonded to it. In short, Unicron is possibly the second most powerful being in the universe, rivaled by his brother and surpassed only by his father. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now here we've got two of the most iconic planet eaters out there, Galactus versus Unicron. And this would absolutely be a fight for the ages. However, it really does depend upon which version of Unicron that we use. Like if we use the version from the Transformers movie, well, Unicron is basically a robot planet. He's not going to do very well against Galactus, a planet eater, who's also a universal force of nature. But in the comics, while Unicron is seen as a primordial and multiversal embodiment of chaos, he's essentially a god. But honestly, you could say the same thing about Galactus, that he's a god. He's a force of nature. When he was originally created by Stan, the story was intended to be read as the Fantastic Four versus God. Since then, Marvel's cosmic universe has grown, and many authors have needed bigger and better cosmic entities to fill the universe with. But it seems they've all agreed that Galactus is still the yardstick by which all other powerful entities are judged in Marvel. But even still, Galactus is easily on an abstract level. He's beyond the power of some of the Infinity Gems, considered to be a fundamental part of the universe, is on par with eternity and death, and the in-betweener, an abstract level entity, can't kill Galactus. Basically, both of these guys are insanely powerful, universal and arguably multiversal level threats. And like I said, it'd be a fight for the ages. And when we're dealing with guys on this level, the question just becomes which one of these two is more powerful. That's ultimately all that it's about. So just how powerful is Galactus? Well, that really depends upon how much energy Galactus has, how quote-unquote full he is. Well, while starving, he's still powerful enough to eat and destroy planets, is able to battle against Ego the Living Planet, create a blast that covered 3 star systems, briefly match Phoenix in power and stalemate against the In-Betweener. And even though he lost to Hunger, an abstract entity who devours planets and realities similar to Unicron, he still survived the encounter. Basically, even while severely weakened and on the verge of dropping dead, Galactus is still one of the most powerful beings in the universe. And while Galactus has never technically been fully fed, at his absolute best, he's accidentally destroyed black holes or turned off stars. He can just pull himself back together if he was ever destroyed. He's able to strike with the fires of 1,000 suns, one-shot celestials. He's even fought against beings like Tyrant, Mephisto, and Scryer and the other. In fact, he's beaten Mephisto while they were in Mephisto's realm. His fight with Tyrant destroyed whole galaxies. It was said that his fight against Scryer was generating enough power and energy that they could have destroyed the universe. He survived the destruction of his previous universe, and while talking with Franklin Richards, he said they were going to be one of the few that would live to see the ending and destruction of this universe and the birth and creation of the next one. Galactus also has a plethora of powers, basically every power in the book, and some of these powers are things that Unicron doesn't have. He's grown to the size of a star, telepathically battle against Thanos and the All-Father Odin, send Sphinx back in time, and force him to relive his life over and over and over again for all of eternity. And he's got impressive matter manipulation powers, easily manipulating and assimilating a guy who had just beaten Doctor Strange with one shot, and has manipulated and transformed his own Herald before. Then there's Galactus' greatest asset, the most powerful weapon in his arsenal, the Ultimate Nullifier. This weapon is inherently a part of Galactus, allowing him to summon it at any moment, and at full power, it can completely erase someone from existence, destroy a solar system in a microsecond, and destroy a galaxy and lay waste to the universe. But what about Unicron? How powerful is he? Well, honestly, that's a bit more difficult to gauge, mostly for two reasons. Unicron just doesn't have as many feats as Galactus. He hasn't been seen as much. And secondly, Transformers has regularly retconned and changed the character, turning him from a robot planet to a multiversal god, and so on and so forth. But here's what we do know. He can travel through space and time. He's obviously massive, being as large as a planet. He's strong enough to destroy planets and knock them out of orbit. Sometimes he can just warp through space instead of traveling the more mundane and ordinary way. He can bestow powers onto others and make his own heralds, controlling their minds and actions, and psychically communicate with others. But Galactus can do basically all those things as well. So what makes Unicron unique, or possibly more powerful? Well, for starters, Unicron actually succeeded at what Galactus has been trying to do for years. He ate everything. Unicron actually succeeded in consuming the entire universe a few trillion years ago. Every planet, whole galaxies, even the stuff of space itself had been consumed, leaving only Unicron and the void. Only thing was, he didn't actually get everything, and the tiny cosmic fragments that remained were enough to merge back together and reform the universe. So when Unicron woke up and saw everything had returned, he didn't really question why. He just started destroying and consuming everything all over again. His very existence is enough to destroy entire galaxies. He's created a black hole that was said to be able to consume an infinite amount of dimensions and realities. And it's even been said that he dwarfed the true Star Saber in power, with the Saber being supposedly capable of collapsing the entire multiverse in a single slash. Unicron can technically never die, even if he's been completely destroyed, considering that he is the embodiment of evil. And evil isn't going anywhere. And he also possesses a form of pure energy that can never be destroyed. In fact, the only thing that Unicron actually fears is Primus's essence that's contained inside the Matrix. You see, to a being of chaos and uncertainty, this channel of life is essentially a poison. End of the day, with all these abilities and at his highest power, Unicron has actually destroyed approximately 22.56% of all known universes. However, with that being said, he has lost and been beaten by others in the past. Unicron's physical form has even been injured and torn apart by normal Transformers before, and has been blown up by the Matrix, has had all the life sucked out of him, and has been beaten to death by a gigantic version of Omega Prime. Granted, he came back every time, he is immortal, but Unicron has been beaten. And with something like the Ultimate Nullifier, or even Galactus' matter manipulation, there's a real shot that Galactus could take Unicron down. However, with that being said, I do believe that Unicron is more powerful and he's coming out on top here. You see, these two guys that just operate on two different levels, two different tiers of power. Because while Galactus is obviously insanely powerful and one of the mightiest guys in the universe, forming a fundamental structure in the universe, alongside death and eternity, he's just in one universe. Each universe in the Marvel multiverse, Earth 616, Earth 1610, and others, has its own version of each of these three beings. On the other hand, Unicron is a multiversal level being. He's the Lord of Chaos, the Chaos Bringer, and his one goal in life is to consume not just stars or planets, but the multiverse itself. There's only one of him across the multiverse, a multiversal singularity, much like the Living Tribunal, and he's considered to be the second most powerful being in all of Transformers. much like the Living Tribunal. Unicron at full power was even briefly the One, who could be thrown up there with top-tier multiversal entities like the One Above All or the Presence. End of the day, Unicron could be seen basically like the Transformers version of the Living Tribunal, or Michael Demorgius and Lucifer Morningstar, considering that the One created Unicron and Primus, with Unicron being evil itself and Primus being good itself. Basically, all this to say, Unicron is on a different level than Galactus, a multiversal level, a multiversal enemy, and he's more powerful than the big guy. Unicron is coming out on top here. Unicron wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts, so sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications. Join the Fanco Army, and I will see you next time.